welcome back to your favorite channel. We're lucky enough to have the Cryptoking in the house again. Tristan, welcome. Thank you for giving your precious time to us.
Thank you for having me here.
And if you haven't checked our last video, the link would be right here. And check our video on how to buy, hodl Bitcoin, all about Bitcoin, right? I know you have introduced yourself in our last video, but do you want to give us a one-liner on how you became the Crypto King?
Well, I started obviously investing in cryptocurrencies, became very successful doing so, and now operate a business, a consulting operation to help other people get involved into cryptocurrency.
Tristan, last time I put in that 0.5 of Bitcoin I had in my hardware wallet, or ledger as we talked about last time. Am I a millionaire yet?
You're on your way. But,
come on, so much time is...
I don't think your $500 in Bitcoin has made you a millionaire yet. Now, some of that has to do with Bitcoin has already had an incredible bull run. I mean, let's face it, it went from being worth pennies to today being worth, half $50,000 or $60,000 Canadian, I think it's at now. So it's had an incredible amount of growth. And so investing in Bitcoin now is still a great option. However, the growth that you can get from it has already happened. That time frame has already passed, which is really where the future of altcoins now comes into play.
So there's these altcoins out there. How do you tell the difference between a Bitcoin and what an altcoin is? I feel like it gets really confusing for people when they're trying to invest to differentiate and make that informed decision.
True. I mean, the difference between a Bitcoin and an altcoin, really an altcoin is any coin that is technically not a Bitcoin. However, they have different applications. And what I mean by application is the technology behind it or the service that it provides. So really a good way to think about it is Bitcoin is kind of like digital gold. Litecoin is kind of like digital silver. And Ethereum would be like digital oil. Now, what are the differences between gold, silver, and oil? Well, gold and silver are a store of value. They have very little usage or application. I mean, we make some jewelry out of it, but there's really not a lot of application. Whereas oil, everything is made out of oil. It has so many applications, you can build upon its usage. And this is kind of like what Ethereum is. Ethereum allows you to build businesses on top of the technology that the blockchain is. And that's kind of the best way to understand the difference between altcoins, Bitcoin, and how you may or may not use them in your portfolio.
I love that analogy. And I mean, there's, as you said, there's multitude of these altcoins. But just to touch a little bit more on Ethereum, because after Bitcoin on a lot of exchanges, Ethereum is available on the Canadian exchanges like ShakePay, Newton. So I would just want to get your thoughts on what Ether is in simple terms.
Well, the reason that you see Ether everywhere is because Ether is the #2 cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin is the #1 everyone knows about. Ether is kind of like the runner-up, the most popular. And the reason it's the most popular is because there is an ecosystem that's built on top of its technology. And that ecosystem consists of services, businesses, banking, lending, many different applications that build value in Ether itself, which is why it is like an oil because of these application usages.
I love that analogy about Ether being the oil that's used in a lot of different applications. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's new and hot in the market and up and coming, and everybody's talking about it. What is Cardano?
Well, Cardano is basically the same thing as Ether is, but it, in my opinion, is better technology, which means it's faster and it's cheaper. So the same idea, one person builds a car and the other person builds a car, they both do the same thing, just the Cardano is cheaper and more efficient. And because it's cheaper and more efficient, it could potentially overtake Ether. I don't know that it will or it won't. They could potentially coexist together. The big controversy with Ether is Ether has first step advantage. They were the first person to do it. They have this huge ecosystem built on them, but they're expensive. If you go onto the blockchain and you want to use a lending institution or you want to use an exchange, it costs you a lot of fees, which are called gas, Ethereum gas fees. Cardano fees are next to nothing, which means I can transfer, for example, my currency from one wallet to another wallet without paying $15 to transfer my $100. Cardano is going to charge me pennies to do that. Ether is going to charge me $15. This is where you see a huge difference in why people are talking about Cardano right now, that it could be the big Ether killer. Is it? Who knows?
We'll see.
There's a lot of promises and no infrastructure yet.
I love that explanation about altcoins and what they really mean and how we can compare them to real world assets. But there's a lot of buzz around crypto and you feel like you turn your head and there's a new one. So I wanted to get your thoughts on Cardano because everywhere you look, you see it.
You're hearing a lot of news and buzz about Cardano. So those of us that invested in Cardano, I do hold Cardano in my portfolio. Those of us that invested in Cardano back when it began have made huge gains with this company. When you start hearing something as news, one thing I've learned about investing is when it's news, it's too late. When it's a rumor, it's time to act and put your money on the table. So does Cardano still have a future? Of course it does. Is it going to be the Ethereum killer that people are calling it? Who knows? It operates the same way that Ethereum does. You can build things on top of it. It's an oil-like platform, and it is faster and it's cheaper. So it's overall more efficient. So could it overtake Ethereum? Possibly. Is there going to be a new technology that will overtake that? Possibly. This is the volatility of this new cryptocurrency world that's still in its infancy of evolution.
The crypto king crossed over to the stock market and equity market. I loved when he said news and rumor, and my favorite saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. That's what the stock market does. So great point there. So you always do your due diligence and make sure you know what you're getting into.
That's right.
Perfect. So tell me about this Dogecoin.
Well, Dogecoin is a little bit of a phenomenon. I mean, Dogecoin really is a coin that was created as a joke. It doesn't really have an application or a usage. As time evolves, maybe it will, but really it doesn't. But interestingly enough, it has gathered the attention of the people. And anything that gathers the attention of the people, as well as I do, creates a demand. And when there's a demand, there's a value. So Dogecoin is really an interesting phenomenon in the cryptocurrency. I mean, literally a garbage coin that has grown into a multi-billion-dollar market cap that is being endorsed by very popular people. Now, this could be a head fake. We do see people saying, go buy Dogecoin, and what are they doing with their own money? They're buying Bitcoin. So there could be a head fake here, but there also could be a secret underlying value to the everyday human being. I believe what Daddy Elon is really doing is I believe that he is planting small seeds for the everyday investor to go in and invest their $20, $30, $50, $60, $70 into Dogecoin, and Dogecoin eventually will move to a point where all those small people who have no idea really what investing is are going to make a nice surge in income. And it's going to be just a nice little thank you to all the people out there that would have never got that had Elon not planted that seed and made it a popular thing for people to talk about.
Just as an aside, I feel like Daddy Elon is really smart. He was hyping these coins up. I think he's playing 4D chess. He'll be putting Tesla's money into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin is already up, and it's just crazy how he thinks so far ahead. So not to digress too much from our topic at hand. So now basically I can use Dogecoin to buy basketball tickets. Is that right?
You can. I mean, the popularity of the coin itself is creating a mass adoption to the point where places like the Mavericks, I believe it is, now accepts it as a currency in stadium or for its items. And I mean, this is going to happen very, very quickly. We talked before about how do I spend my currencies.
Totally.
Very soon, applications are going to come to our phone, payment systems, where we're just going to be tapping our phone no other way than we tap our debit cards today. And we won't even think different. It'll just go right out of our credit account, which is basically going to be our cryptocurrency, because all of our banking and our cryptocurrency eventually will be tied to our identity as one unit.
So Tristan, what I'm hearing from you is that diversification, like in any kind of other investment strategy, is key, even when it comes to crypto.
Absolutely. We talked about Cardano. Could it be the Ethereum killer? I don't know. Could it be? Absolutely. Am I going to go take all of my investment and dump it on Cardano? No, I'm an idiot if I do that. What I should be doing is I should be putting some money in that company if that's the one I believe in, and I should be doing my research in other companies that are also becoming problem solvers, game changers, innovators in this new world of technology that is emerging right now. And that's where I invest my money in. And some I'm going to win, some I'm going to lose. But the market is so hot right now, if I've invested my time to do the research, I'm most likely going to win.
Wise words to live by. That's awesome.